Hey guys, it's Walker Deibel, author of Buy Then Build and creator of the Acquisition Lab. Listen, I just got off a stream session at the lab with a bunch of the new cohort members, and all of a sudden I was sort of just taken aback and kind of enjoying all of the different things that we've built over the last couple of years in terms of the immense resources. And so just kind of wanted to take a second and kind of give a tour of what a member of the acquisition lab sort of gets access to, right? So first of all, there's the live education that's streamed, and then the post streaming Zoom coaching calls. And I shouldn't even call them coaching. I should say consulting calls, because we're really getting you ready as a buyer at the beginning. But then, like as you get access to our platform, what happens is you get this this sort of tour of all this stuff. Let me close it out. So obviously you get the welcome message and like the membership guide. This was like a big update that we did. Here's our announcements in terms of how we communicate, usually from the executive director. Chelsea sends those out. Here's our event schedule, so you can sort of pop in here and see, like, this is just for the next few weeks in February. What is that one? About 9 or 10 events there coming. Understanding cash flow management and financial modeling. I'm super excited about that one. But you can see there's a lot of women specific meetup. But the thing is there's a lot of coaching sessions, right? And so you can talk to me on the search forum about a deal that you're reviewing right there. We've got Charles, who was more of a traditional search funder, Jeff, who has bought a number of different companies, and then Shaquille, he's bought about 24 online businesses, as well as half a dozen or so offline companies, as well as the guest speakers. So just to show you a sample of what a given month might look like. Then we've got this would be the intensive for the people going through the cohort. And then we have, the tools and templates here. So this would open a new thing where you would get access to, our due diligence checklist, our business plan resources, asset purchase agreement, LOI templates, outreach tools, post close. I can't read that while it's loading. We'll close that out. But so you get access to all of those tools. Then here's a number of service providers that other people have in the lab have used, or have maybe even come and spoken, right? And then you've got all of the advisors and their sort of bios here just for the lab itself, right? So Avi's talking about growth expansion. Karen Heiss was the director of the Career Center at the Olin School of Business. Yeah, I could spend all day on this. Then here's our 220 plus members and the sort of access to the Slack channel. All right, here, a couple other things we haven't set up yet. But then you've got the interview series, right? And this is something where we have over 80 interviews in here of specialists in different areas through acquisition. And this could be everything from here's how you do this to, hey, I bought a company and I screwed up and here's what happened. Here's, or, all of the different sort of flavors of how to actually build something or do market research or run a search, or what is this search fund models, and what is this thing I'm hearing about, and how do I do that? How do I raise money from investors? How do I raise money from the bank? How do I evaluate a deal? All those kinds of things just in the interview series, right? And then you get access to the masterclass as well, right? And this is kind of something that's in the background, but I teach a class on acquisition entrepreneurship at the Olin School of Business, and if I'm honest, they pay the same as access to the acquisition lab, and they don't get all of this stuff. So sort of like all of the important things to be paying attention to on the qualitative side, as you're thinking about buying a company, profiling your perfect company, evaluation and analysis, acquisition phase, the seller. So here's the point: is I just want to show you, how do we build a business once you buy it? So I'm just kind of trying to show you that over the last, I guess 3 years in all, we've been sort of building all of this. It's kind of, I took a minute and was kind of in awe at the volume of stuff that's here. this is a separate little thing that we put together, which is just sort of like the commonly asked questions about buying a business. So, it might be, the journey or the process, or, 9 videos on, SBA qualification, lots of on SBA here, buyer qualification, 15 videos, lending restrictions, 11, deal evaluation, 3. And these were just sort of growth strategies, financing strategies. So these are just sort of some FAQs that sort of occur, and you can just sort of like, click on your video and get this sort of answer from the lab for how we answer these specific questions. Okay. So anyway, that's the point. Just want to kind of show you all the different stuff that becomes available to someone joining the lab. And ultimately, the thing is like, we're a vetted community. About 25% of our applicants get accepted to the lab. And what happens as a result of being selective on who gets in is that, yes, our revenue is much, much lower, but our impact is much, much higher. It's a very special group of driven and accomplished individuals, or sometimes driven and not yet accomplished. But we try to stay away from accomplished but not driven. But the point is that everyone in the lab, the bar is set higher than maybe your typical online course, right? And so the concept is that just in the last 12 months, we thought we closed on, we let in about 150 applicants, and we closed on 30 deals. You can do the math, right? I mean, that's not a normal online course kind of result. But the point is that, we've got a higher impact. We're helping entrepreneurs acquire existing companies. And the thing is that once we've started to drill into how many we closed last year, we thought it was 30, which is already an impressive number. What we're learning is we have a number of members that didn't actually tell us when they closed, because of course they bought a business and went straight into operating it. And so just wanted to share with you, we have tried to create world-class education, group coaching from, not one person, not one superstar guru entrepreneur, but a suite of different entrepreneurs who all of which have bought multiple companies. And I think across all of us, I did the math once, and it was almost like 50 companies among all of us. And I mean outright acquisitions. This doesn't include, the 24 that I own, a minority position of, for example. So the thing is these are people who have done it, who have bought, who have operated, and they come from all different forms of acquisition entrepreneurship. And the concept behind the acquisition lab is that it is a laboratory. There is not one answer. There is not one person that can explain to you how to navigate all of this, right? You need to kind of take information from the best in the business, the people who have done it, and come up with a common language, a group of vetted people who are on that journey along with you, leverage the coaching, leverage the preparation phase that we put you through, and then leverage places like the search forum and the ongoing coaching to get to your goal in due time. Thanks for your time, and looking forward to seeing you on the inside.